another fabulous episode of On the Other Side of Momming, because there's more to this mom life. And of course, by now you should know who I be. But in case you're new here, I am T. Moore. I'm the host of this here podcast where we talk about motherhood unfiltered. And really, we don't be talking about motherhood in the sense of like how to raise these kids or nothing, because baby, they is raising themselves at this point sometimes. But we talking to us mamas, you know, the forgotten group. Like after we had these kids, they forgot about us. That's who we talking to. We talking to each other, girl. Like I'm letting you know your kids is bad as hell. Mine is too. Okay. We trying to gentle parent, me too, but these kids ain't gentling. So you be like, God bless you. Talking about these men or these women's. I like men's and some people like women's. And so to each their own, but whatever you like, girl, we talking about that too. Okay, we talking about that too, because they too be getting on our nerves. But today I have a fabulous guest on here. I like to think of this individual as really my rich best friend, because like she's amazing and like she gets me on so many levels. I just love her to pieces. And so I get to share her with you all today. So Miss Shannon Crenshaw, extraordinaire, please tell the good people, who are you? Who you be, girl?
Hello, everyone. I am Shannon Steele Crenshaw, no hyphen. I am a mental health specialist, and I work throughout the southeast of these United States. And my primary area is crisis and trauma and all those things that we all have experienced in life, whether it be perceived or actually real. And I am a business owner and have been for well over 20 years as far as independently. And I am a wife and a mom of 3 college students. One is kind of finding her way, and she works. She covers her own livelihood, so we work with that. And then we have a sophomore that's in school in the AU Center over there in Georgia, and then we have our last that's in school in Alabama. He says he's going to be some form of engineer, so we're excited. And I told him he could buy me a home if he gets married, and he got to talk to his wife about it. But until then, just go ahead and help your mom out once you start making bucks. But that's where we're at.
That's where we at.
I am.
I'm here for the house building. I'm like, listen, build all of us a house since you got it. You know what I'm saying? It's giving. It's giving. It's like, this is return payment for my investments. So one of the things we like to do on this show is we like to always give a little mom inspirational quote, because we need it, because life be lifing, and sometimes, you know, we need a little inspiration. So today, my inspirational quote is, the biggest change for me as a mom was realizing I needed to put someone else before me. Now, the hardest part about the emptiness is learning to put myself first. And that comes from Kim Alexis. And like I said, we're going on the other side. We're going on the other side when these kids is out the house. They gone. So when you hear that quote, you know, what resonates with you? That's for you.
It's the empty space. It's putting yourself first, because people say the empty nest, but it's the empty space. I was talking to my brother-in-law, and he said his house feels like a museum now, because their one and only is off at school as well. And so he said that he misses the dinner that they would have. And I said, for me, I didn't realize how much we bounced off of the kids and kind of like all the scheduling and all those things. And I told my husband, I said, I think we have to be friends again. And so that's been what the emptiness process has been like, becoming friends again with my boo. And then also, putting me first, learning how to not just fill my day up with being busy with work and all those things, but having some girl time, going for some cocktails, doing some things that I enjoy, and not necessarily having to think about someone else's schedule.
Yeah, yeah. So when you talk about like having to reconnect with your husband, did you lose the friendship? Was that something that was lost in raising the kids?
I feel like it because we got so busy in doing, and we have 3 active kids, and it's not that the whole friendship was lost. It was more of there were days that I just didn't like think either one of us liked each other because it was
Oh,
always, okay, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do that? You know, it was so much task. Did you forget to pick up that child?
yeah,
Did you pay that fee? It just became so much of tasks doing. And
yeah,
I really honestly count my husband as one of my best friends. And we had the whole conversation of love versus like. I love him to death, and I feel he loves me as well. But that whole like piece was kind of, sometimes I'd be like, "Ooh, I think I'm gonna take the long way home," and I know he took the long way home. So, it's the reality of because we were friends at one point, being able to kind of come and have a honest conversation about where we were once these kids left. And our youngest, he graduated in May of 2022. So this is our we're going into our first full year of no kids in the house. And they are 18, 20, and 23. So they're still being launched. The other hard part in all of this is being in that sandwich generation where now we're having to do things for our parents. He for his mom and dad, and me for my mother while we're launching. So that was the other piece of kind of like, okay, the busyness of
yeah,
doing. Not, yeah.
yeah. How do you feel with the youngest now being gone? Like what was that like when he like left and went off to school?
Okay, y'all, it surprised me because I was the mom at the field trip in the 5th grade saying, I don't have to go to no more field trips. I don't have to go on any more field trips. He will be in middle school and will not
Pause.
want me around.
Pause. You said fifth grade. You started getting excited in the fifth grade.
Yes, yes. I thought I was gonna be really happy when everybody left, but like I'm a planner by nature. But the reality, and each child when they left to go off to school, like September, it would hit me. Oh, they're gone. And then, they would come back. They come back for holidays. And actually, we watch her dog on the weekends. But anyway,
Oh,
that's a whole nother story. So, and so I thought, me as this proactive parent, I thought I had it together. But when my son left, I was just like, because he had become my hiking partner and all these things. And when he left, I was like, my Bubba's gone. And so I was pitiful. I was pitiful. My husband was like, you gonna be all right? He was calling some of my girlfriends, y'all need to check on her. And so it was interesting. I was like, I'm not that bad off. I just missed them. And so sometimes you don't realize how much you're gonna miss them, even though they are a phone and a text. You gotta do it about 2, 3 times. But they finally respond. And you're trying to give them their space. And I told someone, I said, no one teaches you how to let go with grace. So I'm learning to let go and let them be. But okay, I have 2 things that I'm going to share, and I hope they never hear this because then they'll know. Well, 3 things. I know they're in the world of the living because I checked their Instagram. I check their phone records to see if they talk to somebody, just seeing if I haven't heard from them. And then we have the
yeah.
Life 360. Sometimes I'm like, we have too much technology. The technology is stressing me out. But it comes in handy if they don't respond back in 3 to 4 days. So they're like, Mom, stop. We're okay. So, but I'm just learning to let go with grace. And hopefully some of you will understand what I mean by that. But let go of
Maybe
some
I
of
check
those
Life
apps
360.
sometime. Go ahead.
Now we gotta let go of them apps, honey. We gonna hold on to them apps. I'm like put them down. Like okay, continue the Life 360, and everything like that. Because I'm like, listen. Listen, because the way these kids cut up on me last night, them girls with their high emotions, I said, oh, how many more years I got? Okay. All right. Okay. We ain't gonna make it. Like, what is we doing over here? Like, so do you feel that even though it's been almost a year, like, do you feel like you're able to live your life again? Like, well, I guess there's like two questions, right? Like, did you feel like life stopped when you had the kids? Because oftentimes that's what motherhood is associated with. It's associated with this stopping point. Like all of a sudden everything dies and goes to hell. And then once you're like lukewarm to the graveyard, that is when you are to live again.
I don't feel like that. I don't feel like everything died. Do feel like things came to a friggin' sloth crawl. So I had to really slow down because I was pretty busy. And it's one of those things where I was constantly trying to be purposeful in doing. And so like right now I travel not extensively, but I do a lot of like kind of, I'll say, geographical traveling, some domestic traveling. And that has helped me to kind of get back out there. And my friend is the Meetup app. So I've been using the Meetup app for years to kind of just connect with other genuine souls, because all of my friends are in other parts of the U.S., so they don't live in my actual area. So I kind of get out. I like to hike. I like to do, simple things, but I made sure I did things that I enjoyed doing, and then I would make my husband come. And so, because he was like, no, I want to go do the HIIT workout. I was like, the HIIT is not for me. So come on and hike. And so, come on and go for a walk. So and not that I would make him come every time, but definitely trying to create some things. And then I would try and do a HIIT workout. I'd be sitting on the side with my water, but I tried. So, so that was the biggest thing. So it did slow way down. Definitely,
we have frozen, y'all.
Phase of life. And so we had 3 kids under the age of 5, hence 3 kids college age now. So, and I was serious about being a mom. I prayed to be a mom.
Yeah.
I took it serious. I take it seriously. It's not over. So it didn't bother me as much, but I also, and this may ruffle some feathers, but hopefully you get what I'm saying. My kids are not my greatest accomplishment.
Say that again for the people in the back.
My kids are not my only, nor are they my greatest accomplishment. They are one of my, I feel like I love being a mom, and I feel like they are one of my best accomplishments, but I do feel like you should keep living and doing. But when my kids were younger, I didn't try and open a new business, or I worked and I had a business, but I didn't try and do a gang of other stuff. I kind of pulled it in and worked smarter. And so you have to learn what's important to you, and then also balance that time. And don't give all yourself to work and not have anything left for home. And then don't give all of yourself to your kids and not have anything left for yourself.
Yeah. How important is it for kids to kind of see that, though? Like, I think, with me having young kids, where I struggle with is the balance, which I'm learning, like, balance kind of doesn't exist, because it's kind of like my kids, they're not I can't measure them the same way I measure my career. Like, there is no comparison between the two. My kids obviously matter more. If I had to choose, family's going to come before a career. However, my career, though, is really important to me in what I'm building. And I need my kids to see that, I'm still a great mother, even if I'm not able to play with you right now in this moment, because I must take care of this project in this time. And I think we experience so much mommy guilt that I think it's so easy to stop. Stop pursuing passions and dreams and aspirations, because, well, now my kids are extremely active. I mean, we're in softball, baseball, Girl Scouts, like we're doing all the things, but I still have to have time for me so that I don't lose me. I don't want to wait till you all are 18, 19, 20 and are gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, how do you, I guess, juxtapose that life, you know what I'm saying? So that your kids can see you still going after the goal.
I would say consistency. I used to do this thing when they were younger called lap time, and each child understood that when we have lap time, that I'm going to talk to one child at a time and give them some time to tell me about their day, and no one else could ask me a question during that time. And some of it sounds very regimented, but I have a lot of systems that I put in place to help me. And so in doing that, I taught them how to self-soothe. I think a lot of parents are not allowing their kids to learn some tough things. And it's giving them that balance. And I'm not going to say I did everything perfect, because I had days I'd be hollering, and I had to apologize to one of my oldest child, because I said I was still in a healing process, and I think I was too mean to you or too strict on you, and it kind of showed up in her development. She had some things that she had to overcome herself. So again, just try to show them consistency. If I said a thing, I'd do a thing. And I wouldn't overpromise. I'd say, let me see. Sometimes we're so quick to overpromise. And then I try to, this is going to be a little off, but I try to teach them how we live below our means. And so I didn't give into everything. So I think that for us helped our kids to not over expect from us. And so I started telling them for Christmas, I was like, Jesus only got 3 presents, so you're not going to get much more than that. Okay?
Wait a minute.
And so I know, y'all, I know some people used to be like, that's mean. That's mean. I'm like, Jesus
the Savior of the world.
This was his birthday.
He got 3.
Hello.
And listen, he got some oils.
Hello.
Sorry, that's what they brought him. They
did.
They ain't getting them no Jordans.
Hello.
Okay?
And so
Hello.
we constantly would say little things like that. And then I had a backup. My husband and I were, and even if you have to have your village in helping, I would tell my family when we go, look, these are the rules. And they, of course, they weren't listening to me. So I had to tell my kids, look, these are the rules. I'm going to talk to you, not to them. And then the other phrase I feel like I used probably too much, not in my house. So if I see the other little kid has this and that, and I was like, but what? They said, but that's not in your house. I say, right.
That's right. Amen.
I think that, again, going back to the consistency, I just tried to live it how I really could. I did not try to stretch myself beyond my means. I'm in social service. My husband's an educator. We just try to live within our means and teach our kids to be happy, healthy, whole people. And that's all we could do. And then with the activities, if we were needing to work a little more to cover our own debts, we pulled back. And so it's okay to have a conversation with your kids and pull back, because if you have 3 kids, if you have 1 kid and you're doing all these different activities, who's going to get them there? And so
not me.
It's got to at some point say, okay, let's be strategic with this thing. You're strategic in your business, you're strategic in your work, you need to be strategic in your parenting. And so I would try and set it up. I was fortunate to have a lot of young adults that I mentored and I trust. And we had church family. So I would pay someone to transport my kids, but it was someone I trust. And I would still be working, and I would meet them at the taekwondo, but they all were one day they all played at the same time. They all played taekwondo. I'm a one-stop shop mama. So that
listen, yes.
So,
we just employed that strategy this year. Like the girls dance is the same day. So one class is going right before, and then the next class, that's fine. And then we do the James just has his own little thing going on right now, so it's like whatever. But yeah, we had to get that strategic with making sure that I put the activities on the same day so that I could just get to the one, and I know, like, okay, for at least an hour and a half, this is where I'll be at, which for me allowed me to do whatever I need to do as well. And kind of gave me some time. So when you think about, as you're getting ready to become this empty nester, what is it that you are kind of like, what would you tell other moms who are getting ready to experience this journey, like whose babies are getting ready to float? No, but not float. Birds don't float. They fly. They fly from the nest. When they fly. They fly.
So, you've given them their roots, so they're strong, and they know how to tap in and get the reserves, and hopefully from within and not without, and so, or outside of themselves. And so now you have to give them the wings so that they can fly, and you just have to have conversations with them. You need to start reaching back out to some of your friends, because if you're like me, I just didn't do well at that, staying in touch with people. And I didn't take my kids everywhere, so I didn't, sometimes we just kind of were caught up in their stuff. So I just started reaching back out to friends that I may have been talking to inconsistently, so that we can start doing some things together. I start planning some girls' trips, couples dates, things like that. If you know, and your husband may be the one, or your partner may be the person that's more sociable, or you may have a good friend who's more sociable than you, get them to plan some things, but tell them, hey, don't forget about me. Count me in the number. And so I started just honestly getting active in doing, but not too active. I just started trying to plan some things and within my means. And I got back active with my alumni association, things like that. So just start trying to plan to not just be in the house, because I feel like if you're just in the house, unless that's what you enjoy, it saps your energy. And so just start doing the things that you really enjoy, and don't worry about what people say or what they think. You do what works for you. Because people are going to take their cue about how to handle you from you.
Yeah, that's so good. So good. Well, I know you have some stuff you got to do, speaking of things. So before we wrap up, I know it's probably like the shortest one I've ever done, but I want to make sure I honor your time.
Thank you.
Tell people how they can find you, and if to reach out to you if they're able to. And if you're working on anything or got anything in the works that you want to share with the mommies out here, like, this is your space, your time to do so. The doors of the church are open.
Thank you, honey. So on Instagram, I'm on Active Transitions LLC. So it's Active Transitions LLC. And again, I'm a mental health therapist. A lot of the things I'm doing, I can't always share because of confidentiality, but I do a lot of crisis stabilization. I will be doing some groups, and I'll put those things on the Instagram. That'll be open to the community. And if you have some my heart right now is for the elderly, I guess because we are doing so much with our parents. I'm like, it's such a need. So just doing some groups so that they can kind of connect with people in their realm and kind of chat and talk and do those things. And so we're going to love on them. But again, that'll be on my Instagram. I'm physically located in Birmingham, Alabama, but am always kind of
all over.
Southeast, all over. I just had a great time at Mardi Gras, so you'll see a bunch of that on there. And so I think I can dance real good. So I was out there dancing with a girlfriend. Oh, I shared that.
Oh, wait a minute.
So that's it. So dance like no one's watching. But that's what we're doing. So catch me on Instagram. Facebook is the same hashtag thing. And that's about it. But I thank you for the opportunity to share with your audience and your tribe, and just love on yourself today. And if you need to cry, go in the shower and cry some, or go through the car wash. So as you're going through that car wash and you're by yourself, make sure your kid's not in the car so you don't scare anybody. But go through the car wash. You can scream, you can laugh, you can say whatever you want, say a couple curse words for me, and whatever you want, get it out. Don't let that stuff settle in your soul. And
Yeah.
when that green light comes on, you drive on off, and no one knows the wiser. Okay?
That's right.
Take care of you, all right?
Take care, y'all. That was so good. Yes, I don't have to cry today, but because I love a good cry. But this was so, so good. Just thank you so much for your time and just sharing with us. Like, I love it. And so to my mommies out there, I love you, and I will catch y'all on the other side. Bye.
Bye, y'all.